Welcome back, y'all. It's time to look at another The Coalition What's Up update. I honestly don't know when these things are scheduled because Gears 5 is updated every Tuesday. However, the What's Up doesn't come out on Tuesday. Sometimes it comes out on Mondays and sometimes it comes out on Tuesday. And I'm recording this on Tuesday, by the way, and it actually came out pretty late Tuesday today. So by the time you're seeing this, all this is implemented because this video will probably be going up on Wednesday. And as always, the What's Up always brings some good and it also brings a lot of bad. So let's just look and see what it is that they are bringing to Gears 5 this week. The first one, and they even let off with this one because it's obviously the biggest thing that they are bringing this week. And finally, new characters. People have been begging for new characters since the release of Gears 5, and they're finally going to be promising new characters. So again, they mentioned that new characters will be coming out on Wednesday, so by the time this video comes out, they will probably already be in the game, or at least the Coalition will have more news as to who the characters are or when they're coming. So it says that keep an eye out for an announcement tomorrow where they will be revealing the entire lineup of characters coming, in the new update. Now, if I remember correctly, initially the Coalition said that they were going to be bringing a new character through every season, like one character per season, and each season was like 3 months or something along those lines. And I think people were upset, so I think it's a good idea that they're bringing more than one. At least that's what this update is kind of hinting at, because it says the entire lineup and it says new characters coming instead of saying a new character will be added. So here's hoping that they add quite a few, because the roster is lacking a little bit, and people have been wanting new characters, so finally we're getting new ones. Here's hoping for Carmine. Obviously, if they don't bring Carmine in the first batch of, I guess, DLC characters, there's gonna be a little bit of uproar from the community. So hopefully they listen that much and at least put Carmine in. Besides characters being the biggest thing in this update, they introduced a whole bunch of smaller fixes, and as always, I'll be putting a link to this update in the description below if you want to look at everything yourself. But some of the, I guess, bigger small fixes being that re-ups now show all the time in any game mode. Previously, at first re-ups didn't even show up for you, and then re-ups showed in your stats and in your lobby, but not in game. And now re-ups actually show when you're playing matches and you bring up the scoreboard and in lobbies, like in playing in ranked and stuff. So there's that. People have been wanting for others to know what re-up they are, I guess, in a sense of bragging. So that's good. They're bringing that. Tour of Duty stars are now being shown in the Tour of Duty system. Previously, for some reason, the challenges didn't tell you how many stars you got for completing them. So they brought back that. And of course, they're re-rolling the objectives. Not the objectives, the supply drops. Every week we get new supply drops, and new supply drop content is being added this week. So following a similar trend from previous weeks is the introduction of classic skins. This week is classic Kate. If you have gilded Kate, it's going to be basically the same thing, except it won't be all gold. Gilded Kate, classic Kate is probably one of my favorite skins from Gears 4, I guess. Wasn't quite a big fan of Dell or JD, but I think Kate looked okay. Yeah, I'll be getting it anyways. So there's that. Keep an eye out for Kate in your supply drops because, yep, new classic skin. Alright, so now on to this week's new limited game mode. Looking at the description, it doesn't seem too interesting. It's Arm Race Unchained. To begin, I'm actually not a really big fan of Arms Race, but the description states that it will focus more on weapons introduced in Gears 5, and it's going to be shorter, high-octane version of regular Arms Race. So what it seems is, what it's making it sound like, it's that they took out a bunch of weapons from Arms Race, and they're only going to focus on Gears 5 weapons, and that's why it's shorter and more high action. I don't think that is a really good game mode in my opinion. I haven't played it yet, but from the description it doesn't sound very appealing. But then again, the last two special events that they had, they were pretty good, so maybe this one will also be pretty good. But the other ones did sound better based off their description, and they kind of did live up to their description. This one just kind of seems pretty bland in my opinion. I'll still give it a shot. I probably won't play it as much like I did King of the Hill Nashers only. But that's this week's special event. If you're into Arms Race, make sure you check that one out. And now, possibly even bigger than new characters being introduced to Gears 5 this week. They brought back the Curbstomp. Everyone's favorite generic, I'm calling it generic, I meant default. Everyone's favorite default execution, the Curbstomp. You know, it's been in the game since Gears 1 and everybody loves it. It's classic, and even though it's the default, it's arguably one of like the better executions. However, the Coalition managed to mess this one up. Yep. They managed to ruin the Curbstomp. So they're bringing it back and they're giving the Curbstomp to everybody that plays Gears for free. No charge whatsoever. The only problem is it's not the original Curbstomp. They're giving us a inferior version of the Curbstomp. And I'll put a small little clip of what this Curbstomp looks like. Now, the only reason why they messed it up as bad as they did, it wouldn't have been such a big deal if they gave this to everybody and they said, hey, look, here's the Curbstomp, have it for free, guys. But the reason why some people are upset is because they did introduce the classic Curbstomp, the fan favorite from Gears 1. However, you have to buy it with iron from the store. So they gave us an inferior Curbstomp for free, and they brought the classic Curbstomp, but it costs money. So why? Why do you do these things? Yep, so as I said at the beginning of the video, the what's up brings some good, but it also brings some bad. And this just so happened to be the bad that came this week. But let's end on a good note. Quit penalties. The Coalition mentioned this a little bit last week where they started penalizing quitters, and it kind of caught everybody off guard. Nobody was expecting a like ninja update to sneak in. If you quit a whole bunch during ranked, you actually got penalized, and people were being penalized up to like 2 and 3 years. They kind of rolled back all those bans, and they basically said, hey, look, we were rolling this out just to let everybody know that y'all are like walking a fine line between being banned if you quit a certain amount of ranked matches. Just know that this was more of a warning shot, and if you continue to do it, we will not be as kind of, reverting your ban. So there's that. They're actually taking quite a big, step into dealing with quitters during ranked, which is great. And they kind of explained more as to how this happens. The more you quit, you start racking up like quitter points, I guess is the best way of explaining it. And once you get to a certain amount of quitter points, you will get banned for a certain amount of time, whether it be a few hours, days, weeks, years maybe. And they also mentioned that if you just so happen to disconnect due to, internet issues or whatever, if it happens every once in a while, you shouldn't have to worry about that. But if it starts becoming a reoccurring theme, then yes, they're going to have to take action. But other than that, if you're playing ranked, I'd hope you're not quitting. Hope you're one of the good players. But that's the good that came out of this week. So that's all the news I got. Again, everything is in the description below if you want to take a look at it yourself. But other than that, hope you'll have a good one, and I'll catch you all next time.